Uh, hey, hi, John.
Chandrish, good
How are you?
morning,
Good
or good,
morning. How are
or
you?
or good day, or good evening. What part of the world have I reached you in today?
Uh, I'm in India,
Okay.
and it's late evening. Yep.
Well, thank you for staying up so late, and thank you for making the time today for this self agility interview. Um, I wanted to double check with you before we go any further that it is okay for me to be recording this conversation, and I'll be sending you a copy of the recording for you to be able to distribute to whomever you like. I won't be posting it anywhere. I'm not planning on it. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure. No worry.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
So,
Well,
can I use this recording to post on social media or any platform?
wherever you feel it might be appropriate to share your wisdom with other people.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
let's get started. I'm going to introduce you formally, as you've let me know, and as you've connected with me today. You are the CEO of Vacancy Technology. That's a software development company from India that has grown over the last 10 years. You now have, I believe, 7 offices around the world and 650 employees. That's quite a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a really unpredictable growth that we have done so far. I mean, when we have started, we never thought of, to reach this level. And it's really great growth that we have seen so far.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, maybe we could start by you telling me a little bit about what made you be attracted to wanting to have this conversation with me today.
Yeah, sure. So, so as a, I can share my experience about the organization, how we have built so far this capability, as well as, the background started with my journey. So I did my computer engineering in India and then started the journey as a software engineer like other software industry. And then from developers to Scrum Master, that I have spent around 6 to 7 years in developer, and then I moved to my role from Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And I spent around 2 years in Agile Coach to coach the people in different industries. And then I decided to start the organization in 2011. So after 6 to 7 years of experience in an industry in a software, then decided to move in the business from 2011. And from 2011, I mean, we started with the 5 people and to grow with the 650 people. So it's really a great journey. And so far, actually, I got a great opportunity to work in the good organization, including Siemens, Microsoft, and which can help me to go with the right direction in the business, to understand what is agile in a right way, including the tools, mindset, and the other things as well. So it's a really great journey so far, and we have grown to the different level that we never thought of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great things.
For you, in your experience, given the focus that your team has had on being agile, what are some of the key characteristics, the top 3 characteristics that define something being an agile environment or an agile process or an agile way of working?
Yeah, definitely. So as far the as an agile coach, I learn a lot from the industry, and the most of the organization is focusing on the productivity, or might be the quality, or might be reducing the risk, right? And the way that we are more focusing on training on the mindset, and how you can change the prospect of the things which we are doing, right? So we continuously giving the leadership qualities or mindset trainings in the organization, and which might be very unique than the the other trainings, which is normally technical trainings. Yeah, definitely those trainings are required. I'm not denying that those training is not required, but yeah, I mean, parallel to this, I mean, it is very important to train the people on, the qualities which is required into the businesses in the recent era, right? So if you see so far, I mean, the pace of innovation over the past decade has been unprecedented. In order to survive, thrive, and compete the business today, we need to have the talents with the combine of functional, technical, and the leadership competency. So to achieve those competency, I mean, we need a kind of different kind of trainings in the people. So what we generally, do in the trainings, like to more focusing on the qualities which is required in this new era of 21st century, and it includes the empathy, it includes the trust, it includes the honesty and transparency, and no hierarchy culture in the organization, to how to change the habits and belief which we carry from our childhood, right mindset, be a kind and humble, as people oriented company rather than only customer oriented company. Because what we have so far, the more CEO or CXO people have more focus on the customer side. They are might not more focusing on the culture and the people which we are working, right? So it is very important for us to work on those areas rather than only trainings on a technical side or the productivity side. So let me start with the few areas that we have identified so far, and which might be very unique, and which can help us to improve as an organization. So the trust. So as you know, the trust is very important. And what I have seen so far is like there are two kind of people in the world. One is who can put the 100% trust on the people, and the one is the person who is putting the trust initially in a small portion, and then once you earn the trust, you put the more trust, right? But the but in the second way, that is very hard to to grow in a right pace. So what we have seen so far, putting the trust on 100% on the people. So it helps us to achieve the organization on a different level, because as you know, as you can see that even you put the 100% trust on the people, you might be identified 10% people who might not doing the expected work, right? But you cannot punish that 90% people which they are doing really great in the organization. So the trust is very important factor. That is, I mean, we empower the people in that right direction. Second thing is honesty and transparency. I mean, we do the quarterly meetings, and we are very transparent about the department, what they are doing, what they have done in the last quarter, and what we are doing in the next quarter, right? So even you are a software engineer, you know that what marketing activity which we have done in the last quarter and what we have done in the next quarter. As a software engineer, you don't need to do, right? But we are giving the transparency to our people, what exactly happening in the organization and where we are and where we want to reach, right? So that transparency is really great in the organization, and it help us, people to trust more in the organization, and they can see that how the company is growing from one stage to another stage, and from the different quarters. Another thing is no hierarchical culture. I mean, in India, it is very difficult to implement this culture, because from childhood to growing this stage, I mean, we have seen that there is always hierarchy, whether it is a rich people, poor people, or might be the position and power, and the subordinates level. So it is very difficult to change those culture where you can be a self-organized team. And we have achieved around 80 to 90% people which are self-organized. You do not need to micromanage those teams and people, and that is really great things what we have achieved so far as a self-organized team. Another qualities that we have seen is habit and belief, right? And that is one of the things that I believe that we need to change ourselves. And from childhood, what we have seen so far, we are implementing the same things in our adult life, or might be the adult life as well. So we are changing also our old habits, which are not really needed, and the belief that we carry out from our childhood as well. So the more kind of trainings that we give, and what we get is trust of the people, empathy, respect of the collaboration, and the most important is improvement and the learning cycle. Because we cannot improve from 0 to 100 in a 1 month or 3 months. We are continuously improved. Our departments are continuously improved. They are taking the initiatives in every quarter, and see that what we have learned so far in the last quarter. It's like exactly like daily stand-ups. So it is really great experience to have those qualities and those mindsets to implement in the organization. And it is really great to give those agile mindset trainings to the employees.
Kind of trainings do you provide? I mean, specific with regards to the matter of hierarchy. I mean, independent of the culture within which you grow, we all experience from birth a hierarchy of our parents. Our parents are bigger than us, and we all have to allow ourselves to put them in charge for a long period of the earliest. We know nothing else than having someone else in charge. How do you go about implementing self-organizing teams without hierarchy being the thing that everyone is obeying?
Yeah, so actually, we give, as I told you, I mean, we put the trust on our people, right? So most of the time, what we do that we give them opportunity to face the customer, rather than having the hierarchy where the senior people only communicate with the customer and junior people is working under senior people, right? So we don't do that. We give the opportunity of the less experienced people to directly with the customers. So overall their skills development include the communication skill, negotiation skills, as well as different kind of skills are getting improved. And the thing is like even in the team there are few people are senior, few people are junior, right? But they are all doing the same work. The only difference is like the seniors are helping the junior people, as well as they are also contributing in the organization activities, like the employees interviews, or might be when there is a need to given the estimations or another kind of activities running in the organization, where they might be a technical community leaders. They give the trainings, sharing the knowledge what happened in the outside of the world, in the industry, in the technology, like JavaScript, or might be a lot of other technologies. So their responsibility is not managing the people, but sharing and helping the people in the organization, rather than controlling and managing the people. So that is something different that we have achieved so far. uh, to train the people, like all job are same. Even my job is writing the email, communicating with the people, communicating with the customer, right? And as a software engineer, their job is coding. So I'm not top of them. I'm We are, job role is different, right? But I'm nobody's managing nobody. So their roles are only different. That's what we are trying to explain in the organization.
It sounds like what you're doing is distributing authority.
Yep. Absolutely.
Tell me then, Chandrash, this is a very wise work that you're undertaking here, and an understanding of how things can be done. How did you come to learn about the effectiveness of this way of approaching how you be and how you do?
Uh, Actually, I do lot read about the articles, and the things are getting changed, right? Because the pace of the innovation is very high in this era, and so we continuously learn those things, and using lot of new articles like HBR or any other different articles, which are really help us to understand what is exactly going in outside of the world. And if we understand those world and adopting these things, which can help us to survive and grow our business. And it is very important to learn those things. Let me give you one of few examples like what we have learned from those unprecedented changes that happen. Like we have given the permanent work from anywhere in the organization, and it was very, challenging things to take this decision, because it is very hard to put the trust on the people when they work from anywhere, right? And we have given those freedom and trust on the people to work from anywhere. What we have getting the advantage as an employee, like suppose you have organization in California. If the person has to travel from small city to California, right? And they have to stay, they have to travel it, they have to get the food. So it is very expensive. And so, what we have thought that how we can save those expenses of food, accommodation, and traveling. So that help us to save the money rather than those monies to be given to the owner of house, or might be do traveling a lot in the from one city to another city, or might be one area to another area, right? So why do we need to spend those money on those things rather than to save and invest in the right direction? And we also give them the right training, or might be I can say that a lot of guidance how you can save the money and invest it, so you can grow the money as well. So that is really great to people are really happy that we are taking the interest to grow them, not only technically but as a financially as well. So that is a great things that we have seen so far in the last 1.5 years. And what we have thought that, i mean even last 1.5 years we have grown to more than double. We might have around 250 employees, and we have reached to 650 employees in 1.5 years when the pandemic was started. So our businesses were not affected. So why should we invite those people to office and spending those money on the rent owner, or might be the other way around, rather than save and invest in the right direction and growing financially as well.
Mhm.
So that's how we have seen so far that great experience with the employee side as well.
One of the things that is lost with work from home is the opportunity for the unplanned, extemporaneous rubbing of elbows, of the unplanned interactions between people that can uh, spark fresh ideas and fresh thinking, or be able to get a question answered in a quick way. I'm thinking of teams working in pods, say, and being able to, without having to write an email or get on Slack and actually write something, actually have a quick interchange to ask a quick question of what do you think about, or what was it about so and so that was such and such that made this work this way? You lose that. Have you noticed how that might have impacted your ability to be as effective as you used to be?
Uh, yeah, the creativity is one thing that is very important. Yeah, and what we are doing as a practice that we do the video calling in the team. So you might get the same kind of experience as a expression, how the person is talking, how they are feeling. Okay. So definitely, I mean, you cannot, change the face-to-face communication, the effect of face-to-face communication. But I can say that you can, 80 to 90% relate to the video calling, right? uh, and people are really great to see the people when they are in remote as well. And I mean, so far, I mean, we did not find any issue with the creativity as well, because I mean, it is very quick to take a call, right? And even in the office, I need to go from one conference room to another conference room, meeting the people same way that we are doing right now. So doing the meeting is the great things with the video calling. That is the first things that is experience. Second thing is uh, uh, the virtual lunch that we have started the practice. The lunch together in the way that the people are feeling that they are doing the lunch in their canteen with the friends and colleagues. So that also help us to talking not only about the technical things or the projects, but as a personal and the professional other things as well. So you can talk about the family, the habits, and the hobbies. So that is also one of the great experience to having those the virtual lunch with the people which we are working with.
So clearly, over the last year and a half, last 18 months, there's been a lot of organizational change. What do you think? How do you see that you might have changed the most? What has changed for you the most over the last year and a half?
uh, for me, I can say that I mean, most of the time I spend doing the meeting from a mobile. I spend only 10% time from computer, and the 90% time from the mobile to take the calls, because I walk a lot while talking. So in my house, from one corner to another corner, I continuously walking while the call. So it helps us to I can say that my average steps in from iPhone that I have watched is 20,000 per day, 20,000 steps per day that I am walking in a day. So that is one thing, and that is a great thing that it's being exercised almost every day. The second thing is I do the multiple things in the same time. Example, sometimes I have small kids, of one having the 3 years of 3 years, and one is 6 years old girl. So sometimes I carry them in my car, and during that I also take the call. So it is not necessary to sit on in the office and take do the everything. I mean, I can talk at any time, and nobody has kind of having the fear that okay, what other things you are doing, right? Until you are communicating well, the expect setting the expectations, setting the goals in the organization. So the I can see the benefits, like you can do the multiple things. One of the example I can give is like for the ladies who are married, right? They might can also do the cooking while they are taking the call with the customers as well. So it is not necessary that you have to sit in the table and do the things. You can do the multiple things in the same time. So that is one of the great example I can see, that doing the work from anywhere, taking the calls from anywhere. And the creativity is something like the initiative and the passion that you comes into the table in the organization. And if you continuously give those kind of mindset trainings to taking the initiative in the organization, they can observe the other people in the organization, and based on the observation, what the 90% people are doing, the other 10% people will follow that. And the same way they can also doing the same things which the 90% people are doing. So that culture is automatically built, and the people give their lot of suggestions to improve the customers, to improve the organization, to improve the processes in the organization. So I can see the positive sides. I haven't found any kind of negative sides. Yeah, might be sometimes, the people are going around and you can't find when you need it. But yeah, I mean, it's okay to having those things. But yeah, I mean, if we are getting a good advantage of doing the work from anywhere, so there is a higher advantage rather than disadvantage over that.
So tell me, what might be one thing that you wish was different in the world that would make the biggest improvement in your life?
uh the only thing is like having the peace and happiness, uh, because what I've seen so far is like in the business, the leadership positions or at the higher position, people are always running, to get and build the businesses higher and higher, to spending lot of time in the business, right? And for me, sustainable pace is very important. To spend, uh, not working on weekend, that is very important so far. That is the things that I'm looking for every leaders, because business is not everything, money is not everything, profit is not everything. So the important thing is living the good life, to spend the time with the family, spend the weekends with the family, friends. So it is very important to the change that is very important for every leader. And so far, I mean, the way that we don't work in on weekend, or employees following the same, they also don't work on weekends. They spend uh, office hours in from their home as well. And they can spend the good life with the family, and then also attend the social functions, and spend the time with the friends as well. So I mean, as a I can say that it's having the good life, happiness and peace is very important.
When you think with this no work on the weekends policy, do you find that you get how do your customers respond to that? Do they have an expectation of being able to get support? Like, not if something breaks down on Friday evening, uh, are they okay waiting until Monday morning to have it be looked at?
Uh, yeah, actually, you cannot control the customers as well, because we have around 85 to 90 active customers which are in service industry. So what we believe that each customer is different. Each customer has their own expectation, right? Some customers are easygoing. I mean, some customers have a higher expectation. Even you work for 12 hours, I mean, they are expecting more to get it every time. So I mean, what we do that we also train the customer on agile mindset and agile trainings. So the advantage that we are getting is like, I mean, where anything to be happen on on Friday evening or anything, I mean, we see the how the how is the priority, because you know every time customer has a mindset that everything is important and urgent. I mean, whether it is a small thing or big things, I mean, every time the customer believe that this is my urgency, this is my priority. And so we need to explain that your system is not breaking. The what the defect kind of comes where there is a showstopper, then definitely we need to comes on weekend and work on that as well. But it is not every time each things are higher priority and higher urgency. So we need to we are explaining them those things while they onboard, and we give them agile trainings, scrum trainings, how we work, how we can collaboratively work together, and how we can achieve your product goal to the next level as well. So the good thing is like we don't only satisfy the customer, we give the wow factor to our customers, how we can make the uh, successful customers, right? Because doing the task and delivering the project is different, and building their business is different. I mean, when you make the profitable business, customers stay with you for longer term rather than finishing the projects or completing the task. I mean, that is very important to learn so far is like, the build the great businesses and build the great profitable business is very different from, to just, satisfying the customer on completing the projects. So that is the very important for us to, explain the customers what is important, what is not important. Uh, uh, yeah, definitely some customers are demanding. We have to fulfill those needs as well. But we also ask customer to, uh, taking the day off on another day, or might be Monday or Tuesday. So that way, I mean, the employees are more comfortable to spending the time on the other way as well when they spend the time on weekend. So yeah, I mean, most of the time they don't need to work, but maybe in 1 or 2% it happens. Then we give the day off on the next week on working days.
With some flexibility in the actual days worked.
Yeah, correct.
So I'm wondering what if there's one thing in your life you're finding that no longer works for you the way that it used to. What one thing in your life that used to work for you you're finding doesn't work for you the way it used to anymore?
Uh, I'm not sure that what exactly it is, but yeah, uh, I mean, there are the different roles that I have played from so far, from developing the software to train the people, then train the leaders, and to give the lot of trainings in the organization, right? So far, the things are going really well, and the thing is like we want to improve on the side where we train the trainer, right? We want to have the same kind of people which we have the capabilities and the training capabilities. We want to we want to have more trainers in the organization, which we haven't achieved so far, to get those trainers, to train those trainers, to train the other people. So it is a multiplications. Like if I train and coach the 5 to 10 people, they become a coach. They train another people in the organization. So it is very easy to reach the 650 people to train on the different things. So that is the things we might be focusing on the next quarters, or might be next few quarters, to achieve those things. Train the trainer.
Mhm. So this learning journey that you've been on, uh, it's unique to you. What do you consider to be one of the unique characteristics that you have about you that makes you different from your peers?
Uh, okay. So far I can say that I'm very cool. I don't hype, or I don't get angry. Uh, when there is a reaction, when there is something happen in the organization, I only see the worst case, what happened in the organization, right? And take the decision based on that, rather than, I mean, putting the people on your shoes, and to get angry, and to reach to the the different leadership style where there is not right way to do. Yeah, but the being cool at every level. Even the organization is in trouble in pandemic, right? When in last March the pandemic was started in 2020. So at that time, even we have lost around 25 active customers. were reached to the revenue where we were paying the salary. So the revenue and salary is exactly where we were generating the revenue. So at that time, it was very difficult stage for us, and we have overcome to see the transparency, what happened in the organization, what is happening, how many customer we have lost, that we were showing to the people. So there's decision making capability at that time was very important, and which is helpful where the people staying with us, and they were continuously working with us. They are telling us, don't worry, we are supporting you. And after 2 months, I mean, we have started to gain the great business. I mean, new businesses, and we started to get the good customers from the all around the world within a 2 months of pandemic. So the only two things I can say, that being a cool at every level, every time, and the second thing is like a decision making capability, because every leader is necessary to have those decision taking capabilities at the time when there is a worst time. So that is very important, because if you can't be innovate when there is a good time, if you can't take the decision where the organization, when there is a crisis or might be the pandemic happen, right? So so those decision making capability is very important, as I can say that.
And from the sounds of what you've been saying, a lot of this decision making is not just in your hands, but is being distributed throughout the organization.
Yep. And even you might be surprising to see that in the organization, we have, giving the giving the responsibility or might be power to the people to define the salary range, or might be, they can, like, we have the leaders and the managers in the organization, right? So it is not something that management only decide what salary appraisal or increment to be given to the person, but the people, we have given the power, we have given the, you know give them freedom to decide the, what will be their appraisal or what will be their increment in the organization. So that is a great thing that, I mean, it is not, even sometimes what happened that, I mean, when we need to take the big decision, we do the meeting with our core team, and based on their feedback we take the decision, rather than we only take the decision to hire and fire someone. We do meetings, we use the multiple brains, and using those feedbacks from the multiple brains, we use those feedbacks to get the right decision. So it is not only about you are taking the decision, but it is about taking the team to get the feedback, what is exactly happening and how we can resolve this issue, right? Because most of the time we get the solution from the team rather than you give the solution. So the right leadership is like listening to your people, getting the feedback from the team, and based on you take reaction and the decision in the organization. So that is really great experience.
What you're describing is an expression of that slogan that I see over your head on the wall behind you. That's the company mission statement? People matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we give any presentation in the company, or might be when we start any training, I mean, two important slide. One is a customer satisfaction, and the second is people matters. So, I mean, for us, I mean, our goal is not customer satisfaction. Our engineering department goal is customer satisfaction. Our goal is to satisfy our people, right? So there are different departments in the organization. If you see there is one department, I can say that one part is like management. That is me and my partner. Okay. So our goal is to satisfy our people. We have engineering team. Engineering team is responsible to satisfy our customer. We are not responsible to satisfy our customer. Our engineering team is responsible to satisfy our customer. We have project managers, scrum masters. Their role is satisfy the customers and satisfy the employees. Okay. So each department have their single line goal. uh, I mean, the HR department goal is again the satisfying the people, and you might be uh, think like in the HR we have set up the processes based on the customer. Okay, I mean what kind of customers we have, and based on that we are changing the processing policies and the processing in the HR department. So each department has a single line goal, and they can see and visible those goals as well. So when any new person is joining in the organization, we are defining their department goal, right? So suppose he's joining as a software engineer or might be technical architect. So their only goal is customer satisfaction. If they are joining as a scrum master or project manager, their goal is to satisfy the customer and satisfying the people in the organization. So that's how we have given the single line goal. Each department has to work on that, and that's how we are working. And for me and my partner as a management part of it, our goal is to satisfy the people, not satisfy the customer, because we are not working or we are not delivering the product, right? Our people are delivering the product to the customers. So their job is to satisfy the customers, and our goal is to satisfy the people, and that's why the people matters.
So those managers who are in the middle, who are managing both, have a goal of both satisfying customers and satisfying the people. They have two flows of communication, I gather, both up and down. Is that fair to say? That's where that's a real significant pivot point in the organization, it would seem.
Yep. Yeah. So most of the time, what happened that I mean, managers are more towards the customers; they are less towards the employees, right? So when any new Scrum Master or manager join the organization, we take the feedback from the team. We take the feedback from the other peers with the same position, right? And what we see that the mindset and how they can fit in the organization culture, that is very important for us, because even we had a got experience that some people cannot feel fit in the organization culture as well, because each organization is different. And as a manager and leader, I mean, it is very important to satisfy the people as well. So we also give a lot of trainings to our managers to to put the 100% trust on the people, and other qualities which is required, and which I explained you in the first lessons as well. So it is very important for us to to train those people in a right direction, where they don't micromanage the people. They put the 100% trust. They only improving from quarter to quarter their qualities, or might be technical things, or might be other things which they are lacking, their communication skill, their negotiation skills, or other skills which is required to make the customer satisfied. So that way they balance both the customers and employees. And when there is any customers who raise the issues for team, or might be the productivity, we do meetings with the team and identify where we need to improve. And we do the daily stand-ups, and we every 15 days we do the retrospective meeting with the customers. So most of the time we get the feedback from the customers, and based on the feedback we improve our people and the team and the skills and everything which is required. So that way we manage both the way, from the customer and the people, as a managerial position.
So tell me, Chandresh, how do you make time or find the time for thinking and self-reflection?
Uh, yeah, so I spend my half day in doing the meeting with the in the organization with the people, and actually we are as I told you, we are two partners. So My partner's his Binal, his job is on customer facing, and my job is looking after the people culture and how we can improve those things as well. So I spend my half day in you talk with the people, how we can improve it, how we can improve the processes, how we can improve the culture, how we can give the more benefits to the employees. And other time I spend on reading the articles, what happening exactly outside of the world, and how we can adopt those technology leadership style, or might be in every department like finance, legal, HR, or might be other department like project management, what new things we can implement in the organization. So we are trying to identify those things. I'm reading a lot of articles and trying that at least the things which are changing in the outside, we can adopt it, so we can survive and grow the organization to the next level.
Do you schedule time in your calendar for article reading, time to think?
Yeah, but I mean, most of the time, what happens that you know you might get lot of pings and new meetings where there is urgency or something. But yeah, most of the time, I mean, I spend around 2 to 3 hours on reading the different articles, books, or any other things which are really great to read because there are a lot of materials available.
Mm-hmm.
So, and every Thursday we have training on the leadership in the entire organization. So we give the lot of trainings, including being agile, or might be agile mindset. The small trainings, including retrospective, daily stand-ups, other things like how to change the behavior, right? That is the most important thing. Rather than they definitely they are doing technical trainings internally as a community wise, like React JS community, Angular JS community, or might be Flutter community, right? They internally do their trainings and meetings, but as an organization level, we do the mindset trainings every week, and it really helps us to get them motivated. And another good thing, like, I mean, I send an email to entire organization every Monday and every Friday. Monday is a food for thoughts. That is, motivational, or might be, I can say, motivational stories, or might be whatever I get from the internet or the social media. I share those knowledge to my employees on Monday. On Friday, I send an email to entire company about the leadership. Okay, so it's a small things, right? But they get that message every Friday, and they might be changing their behavior on that same way. So every person is leader in the organization, and to get them connected directly or indirectly, I mean, I used to send an email on every Monday and Friday about the food for thoughts on Monday, and the leadership on Friday. So that's great things that I'm also connecting each and every employee in that way, and they are also replying about the stories they like, and even they share the story and I posted them on. So the thing is like, I schedule my every Monday and Friday stories from next 2 months. So I already schedule those emails from to which I going to send on Monday and Friday in Gmail. So that's great things.
Great. That's great. Have you worked with a coach at all?
Yeah, actually, I used to work with the coach when I was started journey, but as myself also, I am improving to get the training and communicating with the coaches which are available in the industry. So in India, we have one group, Agile Coach Group. So they are sharing a lot of things internally. We sometimes call as well. We do the calls, and we have one more community is like the local community of IT industry. All are CXO people, So they are also sharing the different ideas and different things which is happening in the organization. If they implemented new process in the organization, so there are around 300 organization group, 300 organization which are included in that group, and groups are sharing, and when they need of developers, or might be when they have free developers, they updating there. So I mean, those communities that we have built so far, and those community helping in our business, as well as sharing the knowledge, and helping those knowledge to get the next level. So the IT services community of 300 companies also help us. We are also connected with a lot of coaches which are helping us to the next level. So I'm myself also doing a lot of trainings to improve myself.
I was going to ask you about the role that journaling might have for you. And as I think about that question, I'm realizing that you've already described your Monday and Friday emails are in fact a form of journaling, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah, right.
It's a journaling that you're doing for an audience of many, not just for yourself. Do you do any private journaling of your own?
Not so far. I mean, I'm not getting too much time to do that. But yeah, I mean, if you see my social post, I mean, I'm always towards the employees. And so in the social, I mean, I do a lot of posts, and so it helps us to, connected with the network community people. And, it also helps us to getting the great people in the organization as well. So it's more toward the people and more toward the organization, and sharing those knowledge in the social media is very important. So far, I'm sharing those knowledge in social media and in the organization, and another way to give the training. That's all.
So when you think of the phrase self-agility, um, and when I reflect on that phrase, is what you've been sharing with me about how you are managing your affairs. It strikes me that you really have self-agility under control. This not only under control, this is something that you thrive with.
Yeah, so far, as I told you, I mean, every department have goal of improvement, and we are improving, we are learning. So improvement and learning cycle is very important in life, and we keep improving and learning. So that way, I mean, we become a self-agile, self-organized team, and the team is working together to achieve those things. And so we have cricket team, we have a different sports team as well. We have technical team, we have core team, we have event management team. So different teams have their own goal, and they are really enjoying to working as a team rather than in a hierarchical model. So that's a great things that people are self-managed and self-organized by themselves, rather than controlling and managing the people in the organization.
So vacancy could continue to grow from the sounds of things. What is the planned staff count, say, in 2 years' time?
so so let me just explain you how we are working. I mean, what we define is like 1 year goal. Okay. So, I mean, last December that we have defined our goal that we want to reach to some level. And so this December, we have goal to reach around 900 to 1000 people. Okay. So internally, we have the customers goal as well. I mean, how many new customers to be acquired in every quarter, how many new dedicated developers to be added in the organization. So, I mean, we are very transparent to the organization as well, what we want to achieve in the next quarter and what we did in the last quarter. So we are communicating with those people that where we are and what we want to achieve. So far, I mean, till June, we have achieved our 50% goal, and still there are 50% goal we need to achieve in next 6 months. So I can say that we are at good stage where we are not, ahead or behind, but yeah, About the goal, what I think that it is not necessary that you must be rigid about the goal. I mean, it's okay to achieve 80% or 90% as well. Because let me give you one of the example. Like if you want to reduce your weight, right? Suppose my weight is 83 kg, and if I want to reduce to 75 kg in next 6 months, right? Even I reduce, uh, you know, if I reach to 77 or 78, I would be happy because I reduced from 82 through 83 to 77, right? So I'm improving. So it is not necessary that you have to achieve the goal in particular deadline. It might be possible that it may take 1 or 2 months more to achieve those goals. So we are very flexible also about goals and goal settings activity that we are doing at the organization level. So so the goals must be very flexible. You cannot punish someone if you don't achieve the goal.
Could vacancy become too big?
Yep, and it's continuously growing. So our plan is to, also we also enter in the EV industry, electric vehicle, because in US, I mean Tesla is there, and so there are a lot of electric vehicles started, but still in India, I mean the electric car is not get started. So we are also started a few products development in the electronics vehicle industries where e-mobility industry, I can say that. And there is a great opportunity. So that's what we are thinking about, dedicated to innovation, right? And our slogan is also dedicated to innovation. So we are trying to innovate ourselves. We can see the what is the future, and we are starting those activity and processes in the organization to see the future and get those opportunity at the early level.
So, and as you describe this, it sounds like this would be like a spin-off company. You'd rather than have vacancy become bigger and bigger and bigger, you would have these growths occurring within separate operating units.
Yeah, so we are diversifying our funds to the different products, diversifying in a different industries as well. So, the thing is like when there is a recession or might be there is a hard time, right? If you have diversified businesses, then you if you can survive. If you have any single business, then it is very hard in the crisis or might be kind of pandemics that we have experienced, right?
Hmm.
So this is the first time that in my journey in last 10 years, first time we had experience of crisis or might be pandemic. And those pandemic teach us that we have to diversify our business in the product development in the different domains, because earlier we were in only services business, IT services business, and then from last 6 months we have diversified our businesses into the product development and the other like development in the product as well. So we have different plans to developing the product side. So that way we are trying that we can build our businesses in diversity.
So to wrap up, I was wanting to ask you one question. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Okay, so the best piece of advice that I given is like uh, to give and trust the people, and that is the most important thing. And I always trust on my people. I always teach my managers to trust on the people. Yeah, definitely you might be find a few percentage of the people which might can taking the advantage, but as I always believe that 90% people, if they are giving the advantages in the organization, then trust is the most important factor. And I tell that is the best leadership quality that to having the trust on the people, and it helps us to build a great culture in the organization.
Sounds like great wisdom there, Chandresh. Sounds like a
Thanks.
wonderful way of moving things forward in a way that is meeting the expectations and objectives of everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a great journey so far.
Mhm. Well, let me wish you much continued success with your journey. I look forward to seeing and following how Vacancy continues to evolve and grow.
Yeah, thank you, John. And we wish you that you also might be visiting India. Have you
Thank
ever
you.
visited India?
I have not. It's something I may do, but it's seemingly less far and far away. I mean, having this conversation, for instance, is one of many conversations I have on an ongoing basis with people around the world, and it's the world becomes bigger as it becomes smaller, if that makes sense.
Yep, yep, right.
So what I'll
Right.
do, Chandrish, is I will post this recording to the cloud, and I'll send you the link. And as I mentioned, you're free to distribute that wherever you feel it might be useful.
Sure, sure. Thank you, John.
So I
Thank you.
appreciate your taking the time today, Chandresh, to share your perspectives with me, and I want to wish you all the best for future success.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, John.
Take care. We'll talk again soon.
Take care. Have a good day.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye now.
Bye. Bye. Thanks. Bye.